Hi, so welcome back. So today we are going to discuss. See, yesterday we have completed with all the CRUD API. So we have done the CRUD operation for I think a product we have used, right? So we have tried creating the create product, try using the read operation, create operation, update operation, and meantime we have done with the what is that delete operation, right? So for the product, so it's like a mini project type, one operation, like one table we have talked with, right? So in coming future classes, we might be talking to multiple tables, multiple collections, and we might be checking with the relation between the collections. So those all things also will be keep on coming, right? So now we have got the small idea like how the request comes and how the response is provided, like how server takes the request data and how it process the data, how it try to talk to database, how it gives you the things like which is asked by the client. So all those things now some brief idea we have got, right? So in upcoming classes we'll be getting more idea and we'll be adding some more advanced added feature to all the existing APIs, right? So we are going to do. So in all those part only this middleware come into exist. So as a middleware name, a term, it's like middleware. So it's like a middleman. So why I'm telling middleman means, see, normally if you are going to write an API, right? So if you're going to write an API, so what will be there? One first part will be your URL, right? First part will be your, like let's suppose in app.post, app.get, app.put, app.delete. So these are all the APIs, right? So first is path. Second is what is that? Second is the controller or the handler. Like how first is the event, what the event, what is the path getting triggered by the user, and what is the request caused by the user, and then next how the server is going to handle it. So that is the second part. But in between these two, sometimes what happens, like for every request you want to do something. Like see, if I want to do every request, let's suppose if I want to check which method it is. Like let's suppose this is post method, but I don't know it is post method or get method. So if I want to log the things, let's suppose any API calling in the server, let's log that API. So to do that type of things, you have to make console.log here, console.log here, console.log here, console.log here, console.log here, right? So everywhere if you'll do console.log and if you'll write like let's suppose request.method or request.url or request.body, request.query. So every API you have to write, right? So it is like a repetitive task for us writing to all the APIs, the request dot something, right? So instead of that, we have to find out some middle person. Middle person means for each request that has to go through that middle person. Understanding? Like see, before reaching to this handler, in between something will be there. Or after calling any of the API, we have to go via person. Like it's like a broker. It's like a broker. Like see, normally if you go to buy any site or anything, like there will be some broker available, right? So what they will do, let's suppose I have to sell one land and you have to buy that land. So in between one broker person is there, right? So if I'll tell, okay, I have to sell this land for 20 lakh. But that broker, what he will do? He will tell you, no, there is a site available who is selling for 25 lakh. He will tell you. So what happens here? I am telling I'm going to sell 20 lakh, but he is telling you 25 lakh. Means he is changing my price, right? Why? To get profit of him, right? So if he sells that 25 lakh to you, means he is getting 5 lakh profit from you, right? So it's like a changing the request. So I am telling no, I have 20, means I am sending the request as 20 lakh, and he is you are taking from him as a this one 25 lakh, right? So it's like a changing the request. So whatever request come, if I want to modify that request, or if I want to print the detail of that request, or if I want to get some, if I want to change that request, like body you can change, or query some value you can change. So all those changes, if I want to do, no, that time we need middle person. Understood what is the middleware? So it's like a middle person sitting in between. Got it? So those person have also the access of request and response object. Understood? In this matter, also have the access of request and response object. So we are going to check with the introduction. We are going to check like how many types of middlewares are there. Means types of brokers are there, like based on what they can change. and then we are going to check the usage, like why we need this middleware, why we need the broker. Normally, see, why we need broker. So basically it is easy for us. Like, see, if I have to sell my land, then what I'll do? I won't go anywhere, everywhere, and I'll ask, no, okay, you want to buy, you want to buy, you want to buy. But what you'll do? You'll just post your land on the no broker, right? There is a website, or you'll hire some person so that he will go and work for you, right? He will go and search the client for you, and then he will come back. So those all different uses will be there, right? So for us it is like easy. Okay, we are just sitting in home and we are selling our things, right? So all those things are there. So that is the reason. So we are going to check. So as I told, like, see, the person requests something. So same previous figure, but now see, the person requests something, but this Zomato people, it has request and response. So the request and response object which is coming for the server, but in between this middle person will be there. He has also access of this request and response. Means let's suppose he told, okay, I want 5 quantity of pizza, but this middle person has right to change 5 to 6 quantity of pizza, or the middle person has right to check, verify, basically before going to a hotel. It can verify, okay, really that pizza is there or not in the server, or it can verify whether this person has given that is correct information or not, so that before going to database, talking server to database, before that only anything will be corrected will be good, right? So all those verification this middle person can do. Okay, so understood the pictorial representation why middle person is required. So something, it can change the things. Okay, it can modify the request, it can modify the response as well, it has that much power. Understood, Amar? What is the middleware? And it will sit in between the path and the handler function. Okay, so let's see. So what is the middleware? Like, it has request and response, so it can also access request and response object. Okay, so all those things are there. It execute any codes, and once this middle person, what will happen? Like, let's suppose the request came, so request came to here, but from here it didn't go to server. First it will go to middle person. So middle person will change, and then middle person will tell, okay, now you can go to next you can go to server. Means from here to here it will go to server. So if it won't write next, no, means it will no, don't go server, then it will not go server. But if you write, okay, next term, go to next step. So next step means going to the server, or next step means going to the another middleware. So there will be multiple middleware also we can keep in the one request. Okay, like now this middleware is there, again one more middleware is there. Means let's suppose this middleware person is only validating the price. So other middleware person, they might validate the name. Other middleware person, they might validate some other things. So lots of validation it will go, and then it will go to the server. Understanding? So why we are not making the server reachable more fast? Because what happens, like the handler, because going to database and then checking the database will be very tedious work, right? It is very like time consuming work. So to save that time, we'll keep these persons. Got it? We'll keep this middleware persons. Okay, so that is one. So okay, so let's see. So we are going to, so next it has to, so any middleware has to tell next step. So with request and response, there will be next also one keyword. So that denotes like, okay, it has to go to next step. Got it? So that we are going to check. So types of middleware. So it is application level middleware will be there. Router level we are not going to see. Third party means we can install from otherware also middleware. But these are all the built-in middleware. Like application level middleware is built-in. Like we have inside, we can use it directly. Okay, no need to install anything. Error handling also we can use. Built-in middleware also we can use. Third party means other external we have to install to use. Okay, so all those middlewares are available. Okay, so let's see one by one. So let's see for first application level middleware. So application level middleware is nothing but it's like a Express only. So whatever Express we have installed, there the Express has one middleware that is called app.use. App is nothing but it's Express, right? So app.use, and you know how you will differentiate between middleware and handler. In middleware always request response will be there, but with that next also will be there. If you see anywhere next, no, in the parameter with request and response, understand this entire code is middleware code. See, your actual request response is not having next, right? It has only request and response. So understand, okay, this is like kind of only request and response. Okay, so it's a handler, main handler, but your middleware will have next with it. Okay, so next means at last, means once every checks will happen, then that middleware has to write, okay, next. So pass the control to next middleware or pass the control to handler. So I'll explain this in request using example, then you'll understand. So one middleware is app.use. App.use is a middleware which binds with the Express. So any API you are calling, it will access their detail. By default, it will access their detail. Understood? So let's try to check. So I'll just go for this one. Okay, let's go for, okay, so let's go to back to CRUD prod. Already we have this, right? CRUD of prod, right? So here I've just written here, but I should not write this, right? Okay. Okay, so these are all the request response, right? We have. So let's suppose if anyone is calling this create, or if anyone is calling this list, if anyone is calling this detail, or anyone is calling for update or delete. So at any request, it has to go through one middleware. So that is called app.use, right? App.use. So this app.use has, what is that? App.use has the request, comma, response, and then next it will have. Okay, one more parameter. Okay, it's like a bridge between the client and the server. It's a bridge between, okay, client and the server. So let's see. So here I'm trying to print request dot, oh sorry, request. Let's suppose I'm just telling query request query. If any things will have query, then we'll just get the request dot query. Okay, now same way we are just printing request params request params or request body and let's console that all. Okay, let's console. So I'm just writing, I'll just do object so that it will become proper. Request query request params and request body. So all these things I'm printing. Now see, now all these things I'm printing. Now you have to understand, like any API you are going to call now, all this API has to go through this, But what I'll do, I'll not write next here. I will not write next here. I'm just commenting now next. Okay. So if I want write next, so let me do one thing. I will just comment this out first. Okay. I'll comment this out and let me go for again Postman. Okay. So Postman, let me go for, and then I'll close all the things. Okay, let me close this. Okay, let me close everything. So let me start product. Okay, so we are going to create a, first let me see how many products are there. So I'm just going to, oh, first we have to restart the server. So let's restart the server. I'm not doing anything middleware, right? Now I'm not working on middleware. So okay, it's not opening that. Okay, so let me run the project. Node space index.js. Okay, so we have connected to the server. Now let's try to send the request. So once I send the request, I can get all the details, right? So I can get all the, so product 1 is there, product 3 is there, product 4 is there, 7 is there, 7 is there, okay? 5, 6 are not there. So let's create a 5, okay? So I'll go here and I'll just create a product 5 and I'm just making 3,700 and I'm just telling product 5 and I'm just making as a fashion. Okay, no problem. So I'll just click on here. Okay, so I'll just click on here. So it got created, right? So it got created and this is the body data received for create operation. So this is just I'm logging inside the controller so that I'll get to know, okay, what is the body data came here, right? So if you go to controller, you can see there is a console, right? So here is the console. But before this also, before coming to this create, it has to go to the middleware. It has to go to the middleware. So what I'll do, I'll just write here. I'll just uncomment here. And now I'm not writing any next. Okay, I'm not writing any next. So let's see for create. For create, what we are doing, we are passing the data in body. So basically we'll get the response output for this, but we won't get output for this and output for this, because in create we are not passing these two. We are not passing query, we are not passing params, we are passing the body. So whenever we call create, this will come and then it has to go to here. But now it will not go the control from here to here because I'm not writing next. So that first let's check. Okay. So I'll just write here one more, this one I'll write so that I'll get to know, okay, we are in the middleware, right? I'll just write inside middleware. Okay, inside middleware, so that you understand, okay, we went to middleware and then we are going to this one. So let's see. Now here I'll do one thing. I'll just write here log, okay, and I'll just write inside handler, okay, handler function. Okay, so inside main handler I'll write main handler function. So if it comes to here, that means we are going to handler function. Okay, now let's just start the server and I'll just make it bigger one. Okay, bigger one. So let me first clear it. Okay, now I started. Now let's see. Now I'm trying to create one more product. So let's suppose I'm creating product 9. I'm just making as 9,700 and I'm just writing product 9 and I'm just making min. Okay, now if you see, it will be keep on running. See, keep on running. Why keep on running means we didn't pass the control. So what happened, whenever I'm trying to access this, now first it will go to the middleware. See, first statement is inside the middleware. Means we understood any request if we do, it will go not controller page. First it will match this path. So it matched, right? That is okay. Then instead of going here, first it will jump to here in this method. So it will jump to here and it's printing, okay, console.log inside middleware. Like see, you can see here it printed inside middleware, right? So in this middleware, as I told you, middleware also has the access of request response object. So see, in this postman, what we did, we passed data in body, right? So that's why I'm printing query, so it's telling query as empty. I'm printing params, it's telling params as empty. But I'm printing body, so it's giving all the data which I passed from there, right? Which I passed from there. And I'm consoling this. So I'm consoling this, all three means this gave empty, empty, and then this one. So that's why it's giving empty, empty, and it's giving object. So data. So this is coming. Now I'm not writing next. So if I'm not writing next, no, it will stuck here itself. It won't go to controller. Okay, it won't go to controller. Means first it will go to create, then it will go to use, okay, and then it will print this, it will check all this, it will print this, and then it will stuck here. Because I'm telling not to go to next step. Don't go next step. Means next step means from here to here and then here to here. So you can see in the create I have written console.log inside main handler function, that is not printed. See, that is not printed only. Means it's not going to this page. Okay, it's not going to this page. And we have confirmed, like whatever API we are calling, either create or either list. Okay, let's try to call list also. So if you try to call list, so I'll just cancel this. Okay, if you try to call list also, it won't go. See, any API you will call, it won't go to that API. See, none of the API will go, because every API whenever I'm calling, it has to go through that middleware. See, 10 times middleware has got printed. See, here middleware, there middleware, 10 times middleware will get printed. See, middleware, 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 everywhere middleware, middleware. Understood? So every API, whichever API we'll call, it has to go through that middleware. So it has to go through that middle, that we have got confirmed. And it has access of all the data. So whatever data we are passing from here, that data is accessible to this middleware. Like see, once you want to check here, just you see, where is that? Request.query, request.params. So I don't know why the params are not getting captured. Okay, basically it has to capture that params. Okay, I don't know why it didn't capture. It has to capture. Okay, maybe I didn't call or I called, I think. I don't know why it is not happening. We'll see. Basically it has to capture the data. Okay, so fine. So at least that much we understood, like it will go through middleware. Now, once I will write this next, then no trouble, then no problem, then it will go and create. Okay, once I'll write this next, then it doesn't have any problem. Now it will go there. Now see, now if I'll try to create product 9, it will go and create product 9. See, it got created. And how it got created? First, see how it is. First it went through middleware, means first it went to middleware, printed, and then it printed all the data like request, and then it is going to inside main handler, means after coming from the out of the middleware using next, then it is going to next, then next means it will going to create wala. Then inside main handler, then it's printed this, and then body data received, it's printed this, and then it created the data and it sent the response. Understood? So now we understood the middleware, means now we understood what, like middleware we can insert inside the server, right? So any request has to go, that has to go through middleware functions. Okay, it's a middleware functions. And if you miss the middleware function next, then it will not go to that. Okay, so sometimes you might miss this. Okay, and you might miss this, and you'll just write request response and you will not make next, then it will be here itself. It won't go here. Okay, it won't go here. So this is the middleware. Understood now? So why app.use? App.use is one middleware. So any request has to go, it has to go through this function. And this function can be usable for every APIs. Got it? Got it, Amar? Okay, so why this is required? So I'll tell you in the class. Okay, next. Okay, so this is one thing we have done, right? So what we can do, we can check like as we have already access of request object, means we have access of everything, right? We have access of method, we have access of URL, we have access of username, query, or we can change the data also. Like see here you got request.body you got in the middleware, right? But from the front end, postman, let's suppose I'm passing 9,700, right? 9,700, and let's suppose I have some restriction in the database. Restriction is you have to provide price greater than 0, right? Because already we have in the database schema, let's see the database schema, you can see, go to the schema and see the price is okay, just it's written the number, right? So I can just write a minimum, right? Minimum it should be greater than something 0, right? Minimum it should be I don't know whether the name has that length or not, that I have to check. Okay, let me see whether the name has, let me see, previously we have done, right? So number, where is number? So number has min, okay, and max. So basically min created value, check if the value is greater than or equal to the given minimum. Okay, so minimum value should be this. So let's try it. So I'll just do price required true, and I'll just write minimum. The price should be, I think 1,000. Let's keep us 1,000. Okay. So if you want to create a product with less than 1,000, it won't create. Okay, it won't create. Now let's try to create. So I'm just going to the postman, and this time what I'll do, I'll just give the 700. So let's see what is happening. 700. So it got hanged. Why? Okay, so see here we have got error. See what it's giving the error. The error is what it's telling. The error, see the error, what it's telling. See, validation error, product validation failed, and price 700 is less than the minimum allowed value. It's telling you are passing 700, right? You are passing 700 from the postman, but the minimum allowed is 1,000. But where you got this error? You got this error, see, inside main handler it went, and then body also. So it went till here it went, till product handler, main handler it went, until here it went. Then here also it came, and then inside database. So once it is going to create in the database, that time once trying to save in this scenario based on the schema, it's giving the error. So what can be done to save this error? Because see, what you are doing, you are getting the request from client, you are going to controller, then you are going to database, means you are going long route. from request to controller to database, and then in database you are accessing the database and you are through schema, and then schema is giving you the error like okay, validation failed. So it's like a long process you are going, and then you are sending the error. So it's like a time consuming, right? Time consuming, because you have to every time touch the database, and then anything wrong, then again you have to return. So that is not good approach, right? So we have to prevent it before. We have to prevent it before. So let's suppose database is telling, schema is telling price should be minimum 1000. So instead of going to database and checking here, why can't we handle before in the middleware? Why can't we handle? So what we will do, in middleware only, we will check in the body if the price is greater than 100, sorry, if the price is less than 1000, then here itself we can return. Here itself we can return. No, no, no. Don't go further. Don't go to controller and don't go to database. Your validation is wrong. Means we are going to do validate. So let's suppose here I'm telling if request body dot price is less than 1000, means if you are passing less than 1000 from the client, then here itself I will tell return res dot send. Okay, return the res dot send, and I'm just passing, okay, I'm just passing message as price less than the minimum range. Okay, minimum range, which is 1000. So what happens, we have catched our mistake of the payload not going to the, we have catched our mistake not going to the database, but before going and talking to the database, before that only we have catched our mistake. Got it? So this is good uses of middleware. So middleware, why? So this is done in the middleware. Why means, see, any request will come. So before going to the controller, before going to talking to database, before only we are checking, okay, this validation, everything got passed. Okay, if it got passed, then proceed further. But if it didn't get passed, then return there itself. So what happens? Our database check connection is got saved, time got saved, database talking time got saved, so much time got saved, right? Now you are seeing very fast, but if you go to real production, no, you will feel like, yeah, how much time you have saved before checking. So what we'll do, all the validation checkings and all will do in the middleware. It's like a gate. So before entering into any place, you have one gate before. So if the gate, in the gate, if your hall ticket is there, hall ticket is nothing but it's like a, you have permitted, or everything validation is there, right? You have proper iCard, proper shoes, proper this. Then instead of, then what will happen, in the gate itself you will get validated. Then after that inside you, no problem, you won't face any problem. But if you want to get validated at the gate, then inside you will go, you will sit for some time or whatever. Then the validation will come and then they will throw you out. So that is not good, right? So before that only you have to go to one filter, one gate. Once everything will be fine, then let them go inside. Okay, so that is the work of middleware here. Understood? So here itself we are catching the error, right? So let's now restart. Now it won't gum that error. Now what will happen? Now if I'll try to send again request, which is 700, now we'll get this. See, we are getting price less than minimum range, which is 1000. So now see, it didn't go to actual, it just went to middleware, and from middleware only it got returned. It didn't go to here. It didn't go to database. It didn't talk to controller. Nothing it went. So first itself it got checked. So now what will happen? Now here you will make it proper. You will just make it 1700 to save the data, right? You'll make the 1700 to save the data. So you have got a lot here. Got it? You have got a lot here. So now if you do, you can just create it. It's okay, no problem. So understood the work of middleware. Work of middleware is, it's like a validating of data also can be there. Now see, this is one way, one example. Now another example means what you can do. Let's suppose you are passing data to, you are passing the data, but one time we check like, okay, price is 700, then we are checking, okay, so then we are returning, right? The price is 700, we are returning. But instead of returning, what you have to do, let's suppose someone is sending price as 700, but you have written your minimum price is 1000, right? So what you do, you have to, instead of returning, you modify the data. you modify the data. So what you do, you just do request body dot price. Okay, what you do, request body dot price, you are checking again same. If request dot body dot price is less than 1000, then what you will do, instead of returning, what you will do, you will just make request dot body dot price, okay, equal to request dot body dot price plus 1000. You will make, means you will just add the minimum. So if you will add the minimum, then it will become greater than 1000, right? It will become greater than 1000. No need to return error. So just means now you are going to modify. Means someone is passing price as 700, so you are making 1700. Means you are changing the request data, right? You are changing the request data. Means I wanted to show you here, like we can change the request data as well. Okay, first thing, we can validate the request data. Second thing, we can change the data as well. Like what I told you, no, like broker. I'm telling, okay, I will want to sell site for 20 lakh, but that broker is adding some more money. Like it's changing my value. So it's adding 5 lakh more and it's telling 25 lakh. So something like that we are going to change. So I am telling 700, but what it's done, instead of returning, it is just making the price as more 1000. Okay, so now once I'll do, now it won't show error. Now the 700 won't show error, but it will go as a 1700. Okay, now it will go as a 700. So I'll just make it change for 800. Okay, so that one some difference will come, and I'll just make it product 11, and here also I'll tell product 11. Okay, so let's try to see. Now once I'll do it, see, I passed 800, but in database it is stored as 1800. Right, so it's like a changing of the value. So you can change of the value also because you have access of this request response. So this proves like middleware has access of request as well and response as well. Got it, Amar? Understood what middleware advantage is? Middleware advantage is so much, like it can validate your payload. So no need to go database and do validation before only do the validation. So that saves your time, that increase your performance of the application, or it can modify the data. Like you are telling something and it's giving something. Like see, now here see, response is coming as like this way, right? It's just coming object and all the things. So instead of this, you can do one thing. You can just write here, okay? You can just write here response. I think, okay, leave it. Later we'll check with that. Okay, okay. So let's or let's see, res dot send. I'll just write res dot sorry, res dot what is that, body. Let's try to check res dot body, and I'll just do some message as success, and message dot success, and then we are, I don't know whether here we can write or here. I mean, I have not tried, but let's see. Res dot body will be here. I'm just trying to modify. So res colon response dot body. I don't know, response dot body will be there or response dot header will be there. That you have to check, like what is the response coming for. Okay, so let's see what is happening. So let's try to create once again. Let's see what is happening. Okay, so create we did. Again we are trying to create one more. So I'm just trying to create 12, and I'll just pass 9, and here I'll pass 12, and let it be omen. Now let's see what is happening. So see, it's coming as a message. See, you passed this data, right? But instead of coming the data, it's coming as a message. So I think, one second, cannot set header as they have sent the client. So maybe some issue is there here. Something happened here. Okay, I'll check with this later. Okay, means I wanted to show you, like we can change the response as well. As we are able to change the request, we can change the response as well. Okay, so we can change the response as well. That I wanted to show you, but yeah, it didn't happen. Maybe some error is there. So let's see it later. So these are the work of middleware. Understood? Middleware work. So we can change the detail. Okay, so this is one part. Another, so this is application level middleware. Now next is error. So let's suppose any error comes, how it handles. Like see, any request error comes. So it has to handle that error, right? So see, this get has like it's a directly passing the error, but I'll just create the error. So if any error comes, that automatically what is happening? It's giving the error to you, right? But instead of that, by default, the error will be catched here. By default, the error will be. So in error, what will happen? Instead of request response next, the first parameter will be error. So any error comes, it will catch that error before. Got it? Any error comes, it will catch that error before. Got it? So that is error handling middleware. So it will handle the error. Okay. So this example I'll show you in the project directly. Okay, this error handling. So one error handling is there for any request, any error comes, it will capture generic error handling. Okay, now next is built-in middleware. Built-in middleware means, see, this middleware already we have used. Remember, I have told you express.json. Why this middleware I have used? This middleware I used to parse the request body data, right? Remember, like we are not able to pass the request body data, then we use express.json. So which parse our body data, right? Now another example is express.static. So a static file is nothing but HTML, CSS. Let's suppose if you want to serve the HTML file from the server. Previously you used to call, like you used to create index.html in the UI part, another folder, and then you can serve that. But if you want to serve from server, then you can use slash express.static and you can serve entire public page. Now see, I'll go here, right? This is all server data. Right, this is only called server side rendering. So let's suppose I'm just clicking index and I'm just clicking like UI app. So UI app, I'm just creating one folder. Okay, this UI app has, let's suppose index.html, right? Index.html, and I'm just creating one index page, and I'm here writing hello world, right? Hello world, right? Hello world. So this has to serve. Okay, this has to serve. Now how it has to serve? So to serve this, what I can do, I cannot serve like this. Means either I can open directly, or if I have to open this, no. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell, let's suppose you want to send this index.html file to browser. Any person will access some path. So let's suppose if anyone access the home page. So what we'll do, so we'll try to serve all this data. So I'll do app.use, okay, and I'll just do, in anyone wants to go for home page, like slash, like how slash create is there, slash list is there, slash detail. So like that only, if anyone try to access slash home, then just serve express dot static, okay, and serve all the files which is having UI app, okay, all the files which is having UI app. So by default it will check the index.html. Now see, now if I run this, okay, and if you go to browser, okay, first I have to go here. If you go to browser and just type localhost 3000 slash homes, now you see, oh, what is happening? Why it's not happening? It has to happen actually. Slash homes, what is the wrong I did here? Let me see. We have done a use express.static and public file. So maybe some issue is there. Okay, UI app, UI hyphen app. Okay, so yeah, it's correct, only UI hyphen app. So we are trying to use home. Any issues there? Let me keep on the top. Sometimes it might happen like it is not matching. Okay, so let me see. Still it's not getting right, something like that. Okay, I don't know why it's not happening, why it's not working. Okay, slash static, so public folder it is, so same way. So UI app, so index.html we are trying to serve. Maybe I think we might have to send the file, I guess. So, or else we can do one thing. We can just do like this. We can bind this express static and we can just write app dot get and we can just write slash home and then we can just write request comma response. Okay, and then just we can do rest dot send file. Okay, and then we can just do dot slash dot slash I think dot slash dot slash dot slash okay dot slash why it's not happening, how to do send file dot slash ui hyphen app slash index dot html. Let's see why it is not happening. Something mistake is there, I think. Okay, let's try to check here. No, it's not happening. Okay, some error happened, I think. To happen, some mistakes are there. Okay, either send file is there or how to serve. Let me check. Serve the static files. Here it is serving the static files. App.public. So okay, it's a images, it's a hello dot okay. Oh, files. Okay. Files means it's a index.html file, right? So we have to give like this. So instead of I have to give index dot my mistake, it is there. See, index.html. So we can serve static file as well. If any images are there, if you want to send the images, then you can send like this. You can just add some images here and that images directly you can send to this. So we can access the static file as well like this. Okay, so this type of things are there. So you can send the static file as well to the client, or you can do some checks also using middleware. So these are the middleware used to serve all the static file. So what is the use of the static file? I'll explain in the project. But now just you have to understand, whenever if I have to serve any static file from the server, we have to just use middleware called express.static. And if I'm passing the folder, then what happens in that folder, whatever files will be there, all the files can be served. Like let's suppose if I'll copy some files and paste it there, like so B certificate, something I'm just copying to that file. Okay, so I'll go here and I'll go to what is that UI app and I'll just paste it. Okay, and I'll just copy this path. Okay, now if I have to parse this, then what I'll do, I'll just go to localhost instead of index.js. I'll just pass that. Now see, we got that file, right? We got that file. Understood? So these are the things are there. Okay, so we can send the HTML CSS file or any other file we can send from the server. Correct? So the path will be different. See, the path will be different. Path will be means you are sending every file from the server, not from the UI, not from the static. So not from the front end. Front end means how it will be. Front end means directly you are going here and you are just opening with the server. So you'll just write open with the live server. So this will be different. This will be this localhost 55 something it's taking different, right? But if you want to send from the server, you have to send like this localhost 3000 index.html. So something like that. So you can serve. So that type of things is used by the middleware. Okay, so you can use middleware to do that things. Got it? So you'll understand this more on the more you'll understand on whenever we go to this one. What is that in project? So these type of things are available. Okay, once we bind the front end with the back end code, no, then that time we can do all these things, static and all. But as of now, just to understand, like static is there. Okay, now next is third party middleware. Like see, till now you have used whatever available in the Node.js or Express.js. You no need to install anything, right? But if you want to install something, right? If you want to install external library, like see, This third party middleware means it's called as third party. Third party means other than availability in the Node.js. Like see, Mongoose was the third party, right? It's a npm.js. Express was the third party, right? But this, what is that? HTTP was not the third party. FS was not the third party, right? That was not external. That was internal to the Node.js default module, right? So similar to that, we have, like, let's suppose if you want to log all the requests. So instead of writing the using the whatever available, we can use this Morgan. So Morgan is one logging package which will log all our requests. So with this, if I'll bind with the third party middleware, if I'll bind to the Express, then what happens? Any request will come. We no need to manually type in the middleware. See, this middleware we are using, right? This, where is that? In index.js. Either we are logging here, right, in the middleware. Instead of this, using this for all the requests, we can comment this. Okay, we can comment this, and instead of that, just install one external package called Morgan. So I'll just do npm I Morgan. Okay, one Morgan package we are going to install, and then instead of, we can integrate that to here app.use. Okay, and we are going Morgan we are writing. Okay, Morgan we are writing for logging, and then in the Morgan, so first to use Morgan, what you have to do? You have to just import the Morgan. Require Morgan. If you want to check the documentation of Morgan, then we can just go for this, right? We can go to npm JS and see. We can just search here Morgan. So if you search Morgan, exact match it came, and it's showing like HTTP request logger middleware. It's a middleware, right, for Node.js. So this is the install steps. This is for require, and this is the tiny. Means it will just format in proper string format. It will just give. If you want some other formatting, it will just give. So see, I'm just writing this Morgan tiny. So I'll just copy and I'll just write here Morgan tiny. Okay, just write Morgan tiny. So what will happen, instead of logging here in app.use, okay, logging here app.use, now what happens? Any request you are calling, for that request, automatically Morgan will comment what are the APIs, what are the URL, what are the request method, what are the request status, what everything it will be commenting automatically. Means we are not writing any console.log. Okay, we are not writing any console.log. Now see, I'm just starting, nothing is there. Now let's call one more time Postman. Okay, so let's try to create one more. So I'm just writing here product 12, product 13. I'll just write 13. See, I'm passing the proper 1900, and I'm just writing here 13. Now let's pass. So once we pass, see, it's got created, but what we called post API, right? The post API, what is the URL? So API product create. So this is the URL. What is the response? So 201. So everything will be logged here. See, automatically it is logged here. See, automatically it is logged here. Nowhere we are writing console.log. So this log you are seeing, this all because of Morgan. It's external library. So so why it is required to monitor? Like see, in your application, the client are always doing create API, or how many times client are doing create API, how many times client are calling list API. Like let's suppose if I want to call list API 2 times. So I'll just call list API 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, then it will log here. See, it will log. Means someone has called 4 times list. See, why I'm telling this all means, why it is important means, see, in Flipkart or in Amazon, when you go, you will see sometimes like some product will be having the high demand product. Okay, high demand. How they will get to know? Because they will get to know with the logs and monitoring. Means they'll get to know, okay, maximum people are trying to buy this product or trying to order this product. How they will get to know? Based on all these logs. If the logs will be generated, but that will be high level logs. It's not like this type of logs will be there. There are different sub logs are there. Means I'm just trying to take one example. So these are the important to understand. In our application, people are interested on which part? People are interested on which part? Okay. People are interested on which API or which food people are, means like this means it's like I'm telling you here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 food are there, but people are ordering more which food? Either they are ordering this food or this food or this food. So if you will see maximum time list, so means people are using more time list. People are using less time create. People are using more time detail. So based on this logging, you will get to know. Understanding? So these are the middleware. So this is external middleware. Okay, Morgan is external middleware. So this type of middleware also, why external middleware means it will affect for all the APIs. It will affect for all the APIs. Got it? So this type of middleware. So understood the work of middleware, Amar? Middleware is very important topic. Okay. One time practice. Yeah. Okay. So what I told now understand. Okay. So use of middleware. One is logging and monitoring. Just now we saw like any URL can be logged in, any request can be logged in. That is one. Another is parsing the request body, which we use, see, express.json we use. Then only we could able to pass the request body, right? Remember, we are not able to pass the request body, but once we use express.json, then we could able to pass the request body for any request, right? So that was one work of middleware. Another is authentication authorizations. This I'll talk in next classes, like when JWT we'll use for sign up and all, no? Then we'll use. See, one more, error handling. So any request, any error is coming, then we can log, like what error happened in the this one. So that is one type of middleware, error handling. Serving the static file, like just now we checked, like if you want to send HTML, if you want to access JS file or CSS file from the server, so that time we can use express.static. So that's now we use, right? We can able to access all the files and things are from the UI happen app. We can able to access. If I want to write this and we cannot able to access. Like what I'm trying to tell you. See, if I want to write this, if I will comment this line and if I'll try to access now index.html, we can't access. See, if I'll try to access index.html, now see, we can't access, right? To access that, once I'll enable this middleware, then we are able to access. See, now we are able to access that HTML file. See, hello world, it's telling, means able to access the HTML file. So this is one middleware we have checked with. Okay, so that is one thing. Another is input validation and sanitation. Input validation means you understood. We did like price was having less than 700,000. So we just remove, send it return like, okay, no, your price is less than 1,000, or changing of the validation, that also we did. See, custom logic. So we change the logic as well. Like see, every time like going to the database, so some an extra query or some extra field also we can attach. Like see, now we are sending only category description from the request from the client side. But if you want to add one more field, then we can add one more field in the middleware because it has right to change the request object. Now debugging. So as we saw, like Morgan, we use debugging so that we can check like what are the logs and all. So all those things we can check. So these are the uses of middleware. So if anyone will ask you what are the uses of middleware, what middleware is, why it is required, what is the advantage of using middleware, then these all things you can explain to them. Got it? Middleware properly? Okay. So middle person. Understood? Amar? Okay. Thank you. Then tomorrow we'll check with other topic. Okay. Thank